Hey guys, Dark Jaco here. I just got back from the convention center and oh my goodness, I can't believe that they actually did this here. They actually have a game that I'm a big fan of and some of my friends here are fans of as well. It's this classic game called Mornington Crescent. Now, I was in the dealer hall and I saw it in the back there. It was like 2062 was the booth or something like that. I don't know. But I haven't a clue publishings. They're a group from the UK there. I think they were licensed by the BBC at some point. I don't know. They released a new edition of Mornington Crescent. This is the third edition of Mornington Crescent. The first set of rules was, of course, published back in 1962. It was a very, very fine leaflet distributed around many different conventions. It was a little bit of fun. Of course, most people are familiar with the second edition of the rules. I'm a big fan of the second edition, so now we're on the third edition of the rules. So I wanted to talk with people about their opinions of it. My personal opinion is I actually really like the new edition. Now, I know a lot of people say that it's dumbed down and simplified, but I think that it makes some moves that you made before make more sense. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk to people here for a little bit. Hey guys, what do you think about the new rules?
Patty, I'll call you back. Well, for one thing, I really think that they did a lot toward making a number of entire legs of the underground completely superfluous in two-player games.
Well, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but the no hat box rule is just ridiculous. Hat boxes have always been important to Mornington Crescent players.
They've always been a part of the game, and whether you are a hat box apologist or you hate them completely, they are part of the game for better or for worse, and I do like the fact that they finally clarified a lot of the rules for if all the players are in NID, especially on Thursdays, but that's not enough to really justify a whole new edition.
Alright, for those of you who don't know, the old Hatbox rule was actually a fun little party game addition to it. What it was is everyone carried around a small box with them, and if they ever sat it down, they had to then go back to where they were on the grid when they sat the box down. They can't make any forward progress. Now, that was a lot of fun, especially in big groups. I didn't like it too much. I would always forget it. I'd set something down. Now, the days of the week. That's actually very, very advanced tournament play there. Don't want to confuse people too much with that. Big thing to know about tournament play, though, is that they've actually made it so that you can have a 12-person game without having to have overlapping stations. That is something so great. Guys, what do you think about that?
I'm just super excited. Given that it's been the first major rules update, let alone a new edition in the last, I think it's been over 2 decades. Like this is the game that I've known from my childhood, and all of a sudden they've made these actually my favorite rules change. They have suddenly given us a reason to use back alley turnstiles with the new routing rules for back streets. It's so wonderful just to be able to slip into an area and take opponents by surprise. It makes things so much easier and more fun.
Yes, Mongoose, I totally love it. Utter chaos. Just run up, blackjack at a tournament. Just take out your blackjack, take them out, take their stuff, and keep on running.
Alright, what Boomstick was referring to there was, of course, the luggage rules. They were actually an addition to the Hatbox rules for tournament play. What you did is you actually had a set of luggage that you carried with you at any one point in time, and if you ever lost your luggage, you could not go to Mornington Crescent. This is a big, important thing, because if you were in last place, you could keep people from finishing the game and possibly catch up. Now, my favorite thing about this is that it's probably one of the biggest innovations this year at Gen Con. I mean, this will be remembered for years and years and years to come. Do you know about Mornington Crescent, right?
Oh, of course, Mornington Crescent. Fascinating, wonderful stuff. My favorite part, I'd have to say, is the new revised rules about trash cans. I cannot tell you how dangerous trash cans can be, and it's important that we have a codified system to discuss them.
What are you talking about?
Trash cans, page 52.
What?
Which edition are we talking about?
The third.
I'm talking about the fifth. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay then. Anyway, so Mornington Crescent. I love this game. Now, there are a few hang-ups now. My favorite thing of all time was the Blackpool Gambit. that has actually been reduced to the point where you can't really use it effectively. Is there anything about this game, guys, that made you a little upset that you can't quite do anymore?
Well, aside from hat boxes, the fact that you can't have more than 3 passengers with you at the same time is just crazy. I mean, how can you end up at Mornington Crescent with just 2 people? That has completely changed how the game is run.
The London Underground doesn't work that way. I don't see why the game should work that way, even if it does make it more playable in certain tournament environments. Not all of them.
It definitely cuts back on the whole angry mob factor. See, not just the mongoose rule, which I love, but it's kind of hard to do the mongoose when you only got one guy behind you to back you up.
Alright, of course the passenger rules were a scoring addition. What you did is you picked up extra passengers, and sometimes you could steal passengers from your fellow players. Now this actually increased your score by a factor of number of passengers that you have with you. Now the big reason that this is so different is because they've actually just made it so that it adds to your score as opposed to multiplying, which as you guys know, is a big deal. Now, I'm a big fan of all of the new changes, except for, as I said, the Blackpool Gambit. Now, one of the rules changes that I love is the change rules. I mean, it's one of those. Well, here, explain it a little bit.
Well, the change rules are super important, of course, because any kind of transportation is going to require some sort of importance of both changing your mode of transportation as well as changing your currency. I mean, the conversion tables are very helpful. It's a shame that the power of the yen isn't represented, I think, very accurately, but how often will you use yen when you're converting from pence? Every other term. But other than that, I think it's absolutely wonderful.
Alright, now I'm gonna go back to a little bit. Now, I'm gonna stop talking about the new rules changes and talk about the look of that book. Oh my goodness, is this book beautiful. I mean, on the cover, of course, it has a map of the London Underground, which means that if you're playing in a tournament environment, you actually have to use it face down. But, I mean, they spent a lot of time hand-drawing this and giving it color. I mean, it's just so gorgeous to see. What are your thoughts about it?
Well, I don't mean to interrupt, but as beautiful as the cover really is, and it is a work of art, and it would make, you know, a beautiful addition to any collector's shelf, but I think that the black and white of the original really adds a lot of character, like you would see on classic television shows. It's just a part of our, you know, social consciousness heritage that's being lost through modern means. Not saying that color printing is super modern, but I think that part of the charm of, you know, the game that we've all come to love is its rusticness. It's easy to grasp, easy to sink your teeth into, and it's beautiful and simple.
I gotta.
I can't believe you're doing this. We're filming!
Sorry.
It wasn't even important.
Yeah, it wasn't. 14 pages. 14 pages of full color art. Why?
You can charge more.
Yeah, so you can charge an extra $20 on top of the already incredibly expensive book. It doesn't help that they printed it in Scotland of all places, but, you know, I keep it close to home, I guess. Still.
Alright, now, of course, they're talking about the price. Many people were complaining about this. An $80 rules book for essentially what many people know. I mean, there were so many people detracting by saying we can just use the old rules and write in them. But I think that you can't quite do that. But I think we're running out of time here, guys. We're going to go back to the con. I'd like to thank all of my friends here for stopping by and chiming in on this.
But I will point out, the knocked out guy in the corner, it was great because then you got to see the blood. You didn't know if it was a knocked out guy or just another bum who passed out and puked out himself.
If I may, that was incredibly tacky and very offensive to Rastafarians.
It's obviously pandering to the lowest common denominator, and do we really need that with our games? No.
We need more violence.
Well, anyway, we're gonna head back to the con,
More
guys.
elegance.
Violence!
Elegance.
Thank you very, very much.
Violence.
Check out this new edition, please. Mornington Crescent. This has been Gaming Disconnect. Take care. Have a good night.
It's all been done. It's all been done. It's all been done.
When the maid came in to change the towels, she thought we were filming a porno.
Who's your agent?